Hey guys, I'm Nina. Today we're doing this. If you haven't seen Travelers yet, get on that. Go to Netflix, pop some popcorn, eat that popcorn, sit on the couch, watch Travelers because it's the best show ever. Now, I've got several theories about what might happen in season 4 if there is one, and there really should be one. But before we get to that, I'm going to talk to you about what I thought of the last season. So, first of all, the David roller coaster. He dies, then he's alive, then he saves the world, and then he dies again. He's shot in the chest, and you think, oh no, David, the best character, is now dead. How could the creators do this to us? Oh no, it is okay. Our thoughts have come true, because obviously they didn't kill him. They can't kill him. He's alive, and everything is good. And then we find out he's stuck in the archive with a bomb, and he has to save the world. And he does it. He cuts that wire and everything is fine and dandy again until he has to grab the core and throw it on the ground. Why does he have to grab the core? And then die? Secondly, what happened with that bomb? Why exactly did he have to grab the core? Because Trevor was saying, don't touch the core, it's radioactive, we don't want you to touch it. Then he cuts the right wire, we think everything is good, and then something happens with the bomb, and Clarence says, grab it and throw it on the ground. Before you told him not to grab it, and now you're telling him to grab it. I don't understand when that switch happened. Was what happened what was supposed to happen? Did they know that the bomb would do that in advance? Did they know he would have to grab the core? If they did know, then how is Marcy so calm? There is no way Marcy could have been so calm about knowing David was gonna die. Even if she thought the director might come and help them. Another thing is, if they don't renew the series, do the creators think that we're gonna be perfectly fine with their ending? Because I am not. Yes, Marcy and David meet again and they're probably going to have a great life. They're going to have kids and it's going to be beautiful. The only problem is, that's not our Marcy. That's not Traveler, whatever her number was. That is the Marcy we didn't really get to know before she was messed up by 001. So, I mean, it's not really satisfying. It's not our Marcy. I want our Marcy with David. And then in that case, yeah, you concluded David and Marcy's story. You sort of concluded McLaren's. But now you're basically saying that Trevor, Carly, and Philip are going to die horribly from domestic violence, a fight, and a drug overdose. So, I mean, I'm not okay with that. Then I have several questions as well, because some things that were just not clarified to me. And if you know the answers, please let me know down below, because maybe I just missed it. But why was 001 asking Jeff for his blood type? I didn't get the relevance of that. And then also, what was Jeff's real solo mission? Because we find out that 001 has taken over Jeff when he explains what his mission was. He says that his mission was to find out whether the faction and 001 are working together, but he tells us this while he is 001 himself. So is that really his mission? Was that his mission? Will we ever know? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just curious. And another interesting thing that I noticed was when Jeff, as 001, was talking to Trevor and was asking him about what was behind his ear. He was learning all about temporal aphasia and how he got it since he's been jumping from host to host. And I thought it was kind of interesting because maybe 001 is worrying about temporal aphasia. Maybe because he's jumped from host to host to host, he might get it himself. Or maybe that was foreshadowing. I know he's in the internet now, but I feel like maybe he'll come back in season 4 in some way. And somehow he'll get temporal aphasia. I don't know, I'm just pulling things out of thin air, but anyways. Then also, when Marcy's fixing Jeff's cut at the end after David died, she asks him if anything they've done in terms of the director's missions has done anything for the future. And Jeff says nothing that they've done has helped. But we can't trust Jeff's word because he's 001. So, has the future changed? Maybe they have improved the future. We'll never know because now everything's been erased, but you know. Alright, let's get into the theories. Theory number 1. Something is up with the director in the future. This theory is very unlikely. My first 2 theories probably are not going to happen, but they're still possible. So this theory comes from the idea that they have not been getting missions in the last few episodes. The director has just sort of disappeared. That may be because he knew he was going to do Protocol Omega, but if he did know, why didn't he do it earlier? The director has disappeared. He's gone. We haven't heard from him. And Carly mentions this when she's in the car driving with, I think, Trevor. She's like, why did we not get a mission from the director to stop the bombs? If they didn't get a mission to stop the bombs because the director knew that 001 was going to win, then why did he send a team to secure the area after the bomb was defused? It doesn't make sense. Like, why was there a team sent to clean up the mess, but there was no team sent to stop the mess in the first place? If McLaren's team didn't decide to stop it, no one would have done it. Also, the director has stopped talking to Grace, like, for a long time now. After she was on that trial and stuff, he sort of talked to her there, but then he stopped talking to her. When she tried to talk to him through Ilsa, he just wouldn't reply. It was just kind of strange because apparently they had a really close relationship in the future, and then yeah, she sort of betrayed him by resetting him and going to the past and all that, but I feel like he would still talk to her. Another curious thing is, throughout the series we hear that the director cannot take a life. He cannot overwrite a human in the 21st century, and he cannot send a messenger to an adult human because that would kill him. Yet, 001's wife was killed in that way. But it just doesn't make sense why the director would kill a human to get to 001. And 001 says that himself. He says, artificial intelligence is incapable of taking a life that was not about to end. The director shouldn't have taken that risk. So who took that risk? So I feel like there's something going on in the future that is causing him to act differently or to just not be present. Maybe something else is controlling them. Theory number 2, the cliche, it was all a dream. Now this one is also very unlikely, but I really hope it is true. So in this one, my theory is that Philip has been seeing a possible reality, but is not the real reality. So in the last few moments, he keeps seeing glimpses of alternate realities, and he's a little confused, and he doesn't know what's real, and it's getting worse and worse. And I think maybe, I don't know when the switch was, but the last few episodes were just him living in an alternate reality and not realizing what is true. And so maybe season 4 will start with him realizing this could happen, so let's fix it so that doesn't happen. I mean, this might be too hopeful, but here are some points to this argument. You might say, Philip can't see the future. He can only see what could possibly happen at this moment right in front of him, because he saw that bomb go off there when in his real reality it happens later on. And he sees cars that are not there right in front of him, and everything that he sees that is not the real reality is right in front of him. But here's my argument to that. He knows that Carly might kill Jeff. A few episodes back, he plays music in her ears to stop her from being so crazy. But he knew that it might kill him. How did he know that? I guess maybe he could have seen the aftermath of it and not her actually killing him, because he wasn't there at the time. And another thing is, he rushes to Marcy's house when he realizes that Marcy is not at the headquarters because she might kill herself. But how does he know that she might do that? He couldn't have possibly seen her do it unless he was in Marcy's house, unless he could see what possibly could happen in the future and not only what is possibly happening in alternate realities at that very moment in front of him. Also, I think he threw the pills away, and I think it was said that the visions would get worse and worse if he stopped taking the pills. So maybe everything that he's seeing is not reality, and for some reason he's immersed himself in a different reality. And here's a not so great point. David is alive at the beginning of the last episode, and I like to believe that is the real reality when David is telling them this story about a guy pissing and the cup overflows. That's really happening. Everything else is not happening. I refuse to believe it. And my final point is, when David exits the archive, he says, "This feels like all a bad dream." And I think that is a metaphor for Philip's bad dream. Thank you. Theory number 3. The next mission is going to be the director trying to make the 21st century people fix their own problems. Now, I get this idea from when David goes back to his place with Marcy and they're all answering his questions about the future. Now, of course, this was kind of a dreamlike state, but I still think that it might be foreshadowing. So either Yates or David says, we should be the ones to fix our own problems. The 21st century should fix their own problems. Maybe that's what's going to happen in the next season. They're just going to help them fix their own problems. But when McLaren is leaving Marcy's place to leave Marcy and David alone, he turns around and he says, David, you're a part of the team now. So I think that foreshadows the idea that David is now going to be more a part of the missions and more a part of fixing the future in the next seasons and seasons to come. And another point is McLaren gives the 21st century the means to stop Helios on their own. He gives the folder that says Helios to that professor, and that gives the 21st century people a way to stop the comet or whatever it is, the meteor, on their own, because the 21st century should fix their own problems. But then again, this all could just be a metaphor for the TV show creators to be like, hey, fix your problems before the future gets fucked. Theory number 4. McLaren is the new 001. McLaren stopped 001 from coming back to the past, but now he is the first ever traveler in this new reality. So I think this means either McLaren will die in 9/11 as 001 was supposed to, and then they'll start their mission as it was supposed to be done. Or it means that McLaren will escape 9/11, because at the end you see him try to leave just before it cuts to David and Marcy. And McLaren will be the only traveler that knows what happened in the previous mission, and he'll be able to link the new travelers back to that, and link maybe the travelers that we all know and love back to the previous reality. And in that case, I hope the relationships could reemerge, especially our Marcy with David. This also opens up a possibility of Marcy, the Marcy we know, being sent back. Maybe not into Marcy, but into a different person that's about to die. And that opens up the opportunity for a jealous traveler, and may cause some drama between Marcy and David, like the real Marcy. Just saying. I think that could be interesting. So McLaren decides not to meet up with Kat, and that means that now she will probably go through with the wedding that she had planned with John, her fiance. And that means in season 4 we could possibly meet John and see what he's like, and that could be interesting for McLaren's storyline. More drama happening. I'm down for that. We'll get to see the story from McLaren's point of view, as well as the travelers we all know, but now in different situations. And I'm really hoping that that is the case, out of all the theories. That'd be really cool. Theory number 5. The last 3 seasons were a simulation by the director. Everything we saw happened in nanoseconds, and now he's trying the next mission. So it all never really happened. He just tested it out in his little algorithmic brain, and now he's testing out the next one, all in nanoseconds. I mean, it doesn't really tell you much about what the plot might be, but that could have been what happened. Just putting it out there. And theory number 6, we're gonna get a whole new cast. So we're gonna get new missions, new travelers, new characters that we can all fall in love with. Obviously this is gonna be sad because we're not gonna get to see all the characters that we all know and love, but we get to fall in love with new travelers and new characters and get to know their dynamics. Although if this is the case, I'm gonna miss Philip so much. I love his little nose ring. He's the best. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on Travelers. If you have any theories on what the next seasons will be, or if there will be a next season, let me know in the comments below. And if you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. I will hopefully be making more of it, and I'll see you guys next time. What was that? Ghosts. And theory number 6, we're gonna great theory, isn't it? And yeah.